Hey, and welcome back. So this project that I'm working on right now is Kingdom Death Monsters. And as you can see, these are nice gray plastic minis. And as I've been working on them, I'm not done yet. I have, this is like the core set. I don't have the game. Obviously, this is a commission project. And my first reaction to these minis was that they were beautifully cast, and I was greatly looking forward to assembling them. And while my opinion has not changed completely since I started actually assembling them, my enthusiasm has been tempered somewhat. Now, you might ask why. And I would tell you because while the casting is mostly good, there are some issues with the designs of these minis. Let's take this antelope, for example. It's going to have to mount on its base thusly. Two small points of contact. I'm going to have to pin that if it's going to withstand the rigors of gaming. And it wouldn't have been that hard to actually include some extra little posts on the bottom that, you know, existing pins, if you will. You know, this is a fairly bulky piece, and even with super glue or, you know, plastic cement, no matter what you do, that's just going to break eventually. So that's going to require pins. Not a big deal, and certainly not the only company to have issues like that with the design of their models. You know, they really want to make things dynamic, but creating dynamic figures creates its own problems. And we're going to have some similar issues with these. These are the survivors. And you know, no extra thought given to the feet and how they're going to affix to the base, and very, very small contact points. But at least with these, you know, these are smaller pieces, so a glue bond, especially a good plastic model cement, should be able to hold those to the base. You know, plastic bases, as long as they have a nice, smooth, flat connection point, that should be fine. But there's another issue. Now, again, I don't have the game, and so I'm going off of hearsay at this point, but I did not get instructions when these models were sent to me, and that's fine. 90% of these models, that's not going to be an issue at all. This one, though. This one, for the most part, went together fairly easily. I could figure it out. There was, as when I was doing the main portions of the body, there was one point at which I had wished I'd kind of done it in a different order. But, you know, what are you going to do? This model has 30 tiny hands that go on the wings and coming out its butt. And each of these hands has a specific location. The hands have very specific pegs, which go into very specific slots. But there are no instructions telling you where they go. And in some cases, the shapes are fairly ambiguous, both from the point of view of the peg and the hole. Luckily, I was able to find a video online where somebody had already done the sort of jigsaw puzzle work of determining where all of those pieces went. And even following that and knowing where the pieces are supposed to go, in some cases, it was very difficult to tell exactly how it fit. It's like the very first one, number one, hand number one, was very ambiguous in how it was placed. Most of them, once you know where they went, it was fairly straightforward to figure out. You look at the piece, you look at the hole, you reorient, you put it in. It's fine. But some of them, it was really tough. And even in the end, I had a couple of pieces where, as I was going through, they just didn't seem to fit, so I set them aside, and then at the very end I had two hands where I was just like, well, we'll just make this work somehow. And the video, the gentleman who did the video also had some where he said, well, like this is, you know, where number such and such goes, but I actually have this other number in here, and then I put that one over here. And so even though he knew where things went, he had put things in the wrong place, and I don't blame him at all, because wow, what a pain in the butt with no instructions. For a piece like this, that's kind of unforgivable. And what really is kind of crazy is this is for a board game, and the level of ability for a board game player versus a miniatures gamer is going to be wildly different. Just from my own sort of perusing of forums and such and Board Game Geek, you know, the average board game player really doesn't enjoy the whole process of putting together miniatures, which is fine. For me, it gives me work, but from that perspective of the, you know, the average consumer who doesn't necessarily have the money to pay somebody else to do it, and especially because, you know, this wasn't a cheap thing to get into. You could have spent upwards of like $400 on this game. Yeah, this is quite the daunting task. So as we get more and more into this position of board games and miniatures games blurring the lines between the two, I think we're going to reach, or we have already reached, this point where the player is kind of getting lost in the mix, because a lot of miniatures gamers don't necessarily want to play a board game, and a lot of board gamers don't really want to mess with assembling miniatures of this difficulty. And, you know, this was a challenging piece. This was a very, very challenging piece. As I look at the rest of the things that I have to do moving forward, I don't foresee any problems with the rest of these. But this Phoenix, who I guess is like the, you know, big bad for the core set, wow, I just cannot even imagine your average board gamer wanting to even try to do this. They could probably handle the rest of it without the little hands, and maybe that would be what they would do, is just, well, I'll get the bulk of it done and, you know, leave the hands for another day, and we won't bother to paint it. I mean, it is beautiful. This is a really beautiful piece. Their model designs are very weird. I really don't know anything about the game, so as I look at these things, I'm just like, okay, we got an antelope that looks like it's been vivisected. All right, we got this creature with an old man face coming out of its mouth, and I realize I still have a few pieces left to put on here. So yeah, so this has been interesting and challenging, and I just can't imagine, you know, anybody at the sort of beginner level of things wanting to approach doing it. So if that's you and you're thinking about this, getting this game, just keep that in mind. But I imagine that most of the people who are watching my videos are more interested in actually the hobby of miniature building and assembling. So with that in mind, these are pretty cool. I like them a lot. And I look forward to getting them all done. So you can look forward to seeing me do it. But that's it for the moment. I actually have, this full set I have another smaller subset that I think also includes the Phoenix, but I'm not sure. And then I have a third client who just wants the Phoenix. So I think when I'm all done, I will have done 3 of these things over the next month and a half. But that's going to be it for now, and I will talk to you all later.